this week on Stay Out of My Fridge.
I was watching, obviously, the World Series. Freddie Freeman's up to bat for his first at-bat, and I was like, man, the old guy in baseball right now. And then I instantly was like, how old is he? I looked it up. 35. I'm almost 5 years older than somebody I just called an old man in baseball.
So if I'm using my brain here, and I'm thinking about how many times there have been people in space together, you have to imagine something has gone down. In fact, there was that one lady who drove. You remember that? Oh my God. Okay. There was these two former astronauts. They were either fooling around.
Mm-hmm.
They were both married, I do believe. And they got back down to Earth and here we go.
He's like, let me find it real quick. He went Control H, click. It was right in the history.
I went to try to go get a quarter pounder because I was going to do a video on it, and they're gone.
Apparently there was a huge outbreak, and a lot of it was in kind of our area where a lot of people were getting sick. And the missus had just had one, and I'm like, how much is your life insurance again? We have a multi-million-dollar Netflix special at our hands where we can just have like 25 people eat something that looks delicious, normal stuff, right? And then 3 bathrooms, and they're all getting sick, and we'll just see how they survive and how they adapt. Will it be orderly? Will they wait in a line patiently, or will they fight to the death to get to this bathroom?
Is their system too weak? Will they die?
Probably a lot. That's how Uncle Frank was made. Anyways, we were talking about pupils and all sorts of awesome stuff backstage. If you want to, check it out, go to our Patreon that doesn't exist, and then come back and continue to listen to this. But the voice you're hearing is me, as Matt as Beardlaws. Joining me, as always, Yuban Whakinov and Brandon J McDermott. What is up, fellas? Happy Halloween. The day the recording comes out, it is Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Still
Halloweeners.
Candy.
Yeah, you guys. I think we kind of talked about it at some point. You guys, I don't do the handout of the candy because I live in the middle of nowhere, so it would be, defeat the purpose. And I know Yuban also does. But what do you guys have on the agenda for the old kiddos? Anything good? I don't have my daughter, so I think I do not have to do the trick or treating this year. The wife will take her. We'll take a couple of the kids in the town where they grew up, which is about an hour away, probably after school. And I think I'm just going to hang out and eat some candy, watch some Thursday night football.
There you go. I've got 2 young daughters, of course, toddlers, and we're just going to go to trunk or treat events. But then I've got a friend of mine who lives in a nicer neighborhood who's like, bring your girls over. We'll have a basket for them. So I'm going to have her stop over there. We'll stop over there, pick up their baskets. And
Sick.
They're going to get more candy from their trunk or treat events. They don't know what they're missing. You know what I'm saying? Like by like going out on your own. Okay, good luck. Because here's the conversation I was having, and I don't mean to just hijack this and take it everywhere we're going, but I had this conversation on the show this week because there's conversation in town of traditional trick or treating is too dangerous, and razor blades and drugs in your candy. And well, I said we've always had that fear. Like it didn't just start with fentanyl or whatever. Obviously that's a scarier proposition, but we've always had that fear. And these trunk or treat events that people have are nice, but what do kids learn by going to a parking lot of a church when it's sunny outside or when the sun is out, walking 2 steps this way and getting candy and 2 steps that way and getting candy? There's nothing they learn. You know what I remember? I remember being so cold my toes were going to fall off. That I was so wind beaten, my face, my lips were so chapped. I had my second pillowcase halfway full of candy. We've reached like mile number 5. We're dodging cars in the middle of the street. It's so dark out. We don't know, is it too late to go home or is it too late to continue? Should we go home? How many lessons did you learn as a kid trick-or-treating with your neighbors and your neighbor friends, or the kids that you probably grew up to realize, hey, he was going to go to jail and I probably shouldn't have been hanging out with him? These are valuable lessons these adolescents and kids are learning on their own, in the dark, knocking on strangers' doors. Oh my God, is this going to be somebody who's going to pull me in or somebody who's going to give me candy?
Yeah. Not to mention then you're dodging the kids that potentially, like you said, might be going to jail. Shaving cream, egging. You know what I mean? Like there was a fear for a little while where I was trick-or-treating where people were doing paintballs. So you were getting either shaving cream, you were getting egg, because again, you weren't walking around with your parents. They were like, go out, go with your friends, go trick or treat. You felt safe with your friends most of the time. But yeah,
Yeah, it's, we're kind of doing the similar thing too. We did the trunk or treats, which I'm not a not a huge fan of. And a lot of people start it like early October as well. So it's like a whole month-long event, which I'm like, I like candy, but Jesus Christ, do we really need this much? And speaking of Jesus Christ, like you said, a lot of them are at churches. So they're all decorated as Jesus is king and all this other stuff. And I'm like, this is Halloween. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I want to see people dead. I want to see corpses and everything, not sacrilege.
And slutty members of the PTA.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
there was such a, you didn't get to wear your costume 18 times in the month of October. You had to wait until trick-or-treating time. Sure, you tried it on, but like you couldn't go to school with it. And now these kids are going and getting to do it 8 times a month, and it's like there's no value in it anymore. Like,
yeah, and they want 3 or 4 different costumes for each event, and then of course we got those goddamn Halloween stores that pop up in my area, so they charge you $60, $70. So next thing you know, you got $300 into Halloween for a kid. Like you said, we went to a trunk or treat event. We were in line. It took us an hour and 40 minutes to get through this, and it was 23 different vehicles or something like that. And there was over 14 to 1,500 people that waited in line to go to this event. Was it a good event? Yes. The community loved it. It's very good. And the people that put it on, they do a lot for the community. It's cool, but it's like, this was 3 weeks ago. Like you said, we're doing truck or treat events. These kids are getting more candy than the goddamn local drugstore that already has Christmas candy and shit. Like you said, one night. Just do the one goddamn night.
Yes. And another topic too, you already see Christmas stuff out everywhere as well. So it's like you've already done a few trunk or treat events and you're going to the store like, oh, now we have to be in one of the ones that attend these and actually like host one and hand out candy. Let's go ahead and grab some. Where the hell's all the Halloween candy? Oh, now it's Christmas candy. Son of a bitch. Like it's, I don't know. And a lot of people start decorating right after Halloween for Christmas. That's a good way for me to be over Christmas before Thanksgiving.
A lot of people around here, obviously, like Brandon was saying, with the cold toes and stuff like that, obviously it gets really cold. It's in the 20s already at night up here. Yeah. So what a lot of people do is they just leave a lot of their Christmas lights up year round. They just don't plug them in until it's Christmas season. And I'm okay with that. But like you said, you're driving around, there's already people. They got the goddamn Christmas lights, the decorations, and it's like, hold up. We're not even in, November yet. We just woke up Billy Joe Armstrong and all the boys for waking me up when September ends. We don't need the Christmas. We don't need Mariah Carey already.
Rumor is she's thawing out already. They said that her playtime for her song already has already trended up to where they said that usually when that happens, it's officially Christmas time, and that has already begun. I'm like,
it's not time for Mariah Carey. We need to enjoy November rain. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that. Yeah, and creepy season, man. I love spooky season. Let's just get through it. Let's watch the horror movies. And let's get in there. But the youngest has been singing Christmas tunes for like a month or two already. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you?
See, when it comes to, I'm a little different with Christmas music than I am with horror movies. I watch horror movies all year round because I love horrors. Oh, horror. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also on the hub.
Oh man, that was stupid.
But in the youngest kid's defense, the reason they're singing Christmas tunes already is because in school they are learning their Christmas concert already. So she comes home singing the Christmas tunes, having to, you know what I mean? Because there are a lot of kids that do struggle and hate the concert. So they've been working on it for months, and I'm like, I guess I can't really be mad at you because there's worse songs that you can sing and worse things that you could say. Like we were, I was telling Yuban quickly, we went to something. Oh, we had a basketball game yesterday. So then I was like, man, pizza sounds good. I haven't had pizza in like 6 days. I think I'm going through withdrawal. So naturally they said, Pizza Hut. All right. Well, I know what's going to happen there. So we go to Pizza Hut. And this one, I don't know if they do it at your guys' Pizza Huts or if you guys sit in there, but they do the trivia game. So they have the big TV. You can get on your phone, have a code, and you can play against other people in the Pizza Hut and around the world. So it's look up. I'm like, oh. They're like, can we play? Yeah. So I pull out the phone. First question is, the popular slang term rizzing is short for what? And I go, we are not playing this goddamn game. Do you guys know what it's short for, though? I didn't know.
Charisma.
Yeah. I put grizzly. So then I eat my slice of pizza, I get my breadstick, and then I hear, uh-oh. So I went running to the bathroom, took a monster dump, didn't have a traveling bidet, which me and Yuban discussed. We have an idea for an invention that he's going to, because they're essentially, I guess, douches. I've never used one, and I've called a lot of people a douche, but apparently that's what a traveling bidet is. It's just a thing that holds water. You turn it upside down, you squeeze it, sprays your buttholes clean. But having to carry one around in public, unless I could, put it in my, Vermont flannel hoodie pocket or something, I'm not going to just walk through a store or a Pizza Hut carrying one of these goddamn things.
Could you imagine getting caught in the bathroom trying to fill one up in the sink? What are you doing, man? Oh, nothing.
I really wish it was drugs right now, but unfortunately it's
this. Or that's just, what are you doing? Drugs?
Yeah, this is cocaine. Yeah, I'm doing it a different way. No, okay. That's awesome. So, can I go next?
Speaking of drugs, have you guys ever had to take a drug test for an employment or whatever reasons, or you have to go in, give a urine sample and they have all the sinks taped off and the toilet, all this stuff? Have you guys ever had to do that for a job? No?
Yeah. So, but I had to do mine. I had to piss in a cup right in front of a nurse.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go. So I tried to force it, farted. So that was a really good, genuine time for the both of us in there. So
was he a little out. Did he think it was funny, or was it a female nurse?
It was a female, so it was even worse. Yeah. So, and she had to be the one to inform my my employers that I was clean. So.
Ooh, did she sing it like Snow?
No.
Get it? Ooh, informer. So I went and gave blood, but just part of the health thing as we're getting older, talking about, old people stuff. I gave blood and I had to give a urine sample. So I went in there and they're just like, yeah, just go in the room, pee in the cup, come out, put it in this little bag. I was like, cool. And I walked down. I was like, wow, that's the first time I've ever had to do it without somebody else looking, or I'm able to actually wash my hands. Everything's not taped off. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, and they were younger, like nurses and phlebotomists. And so I was like, you've never had to take a drug test for a job? And they're like, well, I don't think so. And I'm like, even when I started at the place that you're working, I had to go into this room. A nurse had to watch me pee in the cup and all. And they're like, for what? I was like, they tested for drugs. Like marijuana wasn't a thing. And it's legal now. And I was like, I understand that. Never mind. There's my piss. See you later.
It is difficult talking to some of the youth nowadays. I'm like, because I was like, oh, I'm hip with I know what Riz means, skibbity, all this kind of stuff. But I'm like, no, they start talking to me about half the stuff nowadays, and I'm just like, I tried to explain things to them, and they're like, sir, I don't understand. Would you like salt on the fries or not, sir? Yes, I do. Yeah, let's go ahead and just put it in the bag. Thank you. I'm old. I feel 50. Anytime, we were talking about the people on the Bucks who didn't know what a VCR or a VHS tape was and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, we've officially reached that time.
Dude, I was watching, obviously, the World Series, Game 1. Freddie Freeman's up to bat for his first at-bat, and I was like, man. I was telling the wife, I'm like, yeah, he's got to go through 4 hours of treatment just to be able to play in the game. I was like, he's kind of like the old guy in baseball right now. And then I instantly was like, how old is he? I looked it up, 35, and I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm almost 5 years older than somebody I just called an old man in baseball. Like sometimes I forget that I'm almost 40. And that's a shitty feeling.
Kind of like in the NFL when they're talking about this seasoned veteran. This guy's been in the league for years and everything. He's probably got 1 or 2 years left. How old is he? He's 29. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. What?
At least we got LeBron. You know what I mean? Hate him or love him. He's about our age, so he's still doing his thing. And I love seeing all the memes of messing with him and the Bronny and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's friggin' cool. I mean, whether the Lakers did it just to sell tickets or to keep LeBron, I don't really give a shit about the NBA, let alone that. But all the stats of, there's the most scoring duo and father-son duo or relative duo or whatever, and it's got LeBron James, 40,000, whatever, Bronny, 0.
It is cool to see. It's I'm not a big LeBron fan by any means, but it is cool to see. Every dad would dream of something like that.
Yeah. Did you guys see? I don't know why this triggered my brain. I know it was a weird brain train, but the guy that blew out his ACL kicking the kick for the college game day.
I've watched that over and over again, wondering where, because he didn't slip. But the problem was, from what I understand and the way I seen it was, the last step he took was too large of a step for his short legs. And so it threw his balance off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he fell down. And it was like, wow. So his momentum took him too far forward to where if that makes sense. But yeah, it was wild.
Do you think it's going to ruin that college game day kick? Like, are they going to maybe get rid of it because somebody got hurt that bad? Or you think they're just going to be like, oh. I mean, if you're going to blow it out, I guess that's probably a good spot because I have to imagine that they're going to take care of this kid. I would think, right? They did it on the show. I know he probably signed a waiver that they're covered. But when you're going viral over something like that, I have to imagine they're going to hook him up maybe with a scholarship or something, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear anything. I would not be surprised if they didn't. But
yeah, because McAfee and the boys are kind of involved in that. I feel like he's at least got a heart where he's going to be, and especially being like a kicker and stuff. I don't know. I would like to think, in my brain that he's going to be like, you know what, dude, that sucks. Like, let us help you out here.
No, I didn't see the whole clip, or I didn't see the whole video. I just saw the clip on, I think TikTok or something. But the other guy that filled in for him, wasn't he going to? He was going to make $100,000, and didn't they offer the kid who got injured also the opportunity to get $100,000?
I think if he made it, yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, so I figured they already were doing something like that for him. But I wouldn't be surprised, since it's America, if he doesn't try to sue or something in the long run.
Yeah. And it was for anybody that didn't know, it was an Indiana University football fan. And this is just a quick post from the New York Post that says, ruined his chances of winning $100,000 when he tore his ACL warming up for Pat McAfee's kicking contest Saturday morning. It was Jake, not from State Farm. Looks like Jake was probably having some beverages or something early in the morning. I mean, this is from the New York Post. I feel like it's not really getting any bigger. All right. Well, trying to enhance there, but I don't know.
That's what she said.
He's giving me some I'm pretty buzzed up vibes, which either way you hate to see it. I was looking through it real quick just to see if they said anything that they were going to take care of him, but Jake ultimately blew out his knee and was taken to the hospital. McAfee said the challenge chooses participants through a raffle to fans that arrive at the pit for College Game Day. The randomly selected cannot be current or former college athletes and are only given one shot at the 33-year yard field goal. Interesting. So they pick a couple. Yikes. That sucks.
And that's going to be on the internet forever, too. So that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, welcome to the job interview. Hey, are you that guy that blew out his ACL that time on game day?
Like I said, I mean, look at he was just warming up. He's just backstage, just warming up, and just bloop. This guy, red solo cup, having some beverages.
Oh, and his best friends were there too, just already, just the group chats just going crazy.
Dude, I've as a fat man, like a couple of years ago, fell down my front stairs just like that. Foot got caught behind me. Luckily, nothing tore. I was a little sore or whatever, but that shit's scary, man.
Do you have a Ring camera?
No, you would not have seen that.
We've seen Yuban falling on Ring on his little scooter and
multiple times. I had one of my son's friends come up to me. He goes, "How many times do you think you've broken your ankle?" And I'm like, "Where the fuck did that come from? Like, I'm not wearing a boot right now or anything, And he's like, "Don't you think it's time?" And I'm like, "Are you trying to curse me right now? Get out of here, you little bastard!" I wanted to kick him down the hill. Fucking little bitch.
Son of a bitch. Yikes. That's a tough one. Huh. All right. Well,
I'm going to take a 10-second, just if you don't see me on the screen, this heater sounds like a jet's taking off. I'm trying to turn it off real quick.
Dude, I came in here down here this morning. Usually it's like really chilly. It was 70 or 67 degrees. It was warm down here. I had to turn my air back on.
Yeah, see, it was the opposite. I'm in the same as you've been. I walked in the studio, cold as hell. So I turned up the heat, and I'm finally starting to feel a little bit toasty. I still don't have heat in my bedroom from the addition that we built, so hopefully we'll get some heat in there pretty soon, because when it's 20 at night, the old room is pretty chilly. So, and it's not insulated yet on the floor, so you get out and it's like, It's like taking a friggin' ice bath or whatever all the cool kids do, but on your feet.
Well, I was going to have 2 holes in this hoodie if we filmed any earlier because I had to turn that heater on. These nips are about to poke through. It's cold in here. But now it sounded like those astronauts just landed safely in my shop now that heater turned off. That thing is loud.
Elon, he saved the day again.
So I think one of them had a back injury or something. They had I didn't see any update on it, but they were like trying to lift them out, and they apparently looked like they were injured from landing. But
yeah, could be worse.
I mean, I'm just. Can you imagine being up in space for 8 months?
No.
Do you think they banged?
Yes. They had to. I mean, that's got to be, if you're an astronaut, that has to be on your bucket list. Like, a lot of people want to be in the 1,000 mile or whatever the club is where you have sex on an airplane.
Oh,
those
the Mile High
astronauts,
Club?
yeah, they have to be. That's got to be like why they got into it.
And I mean, I would imagine they have some space lube, They're like, hey, we already tried it this way. It's been like, happy anniversary. You want to put it in my butt? And yes. Yes. Do you want to see another black hole out here? Yes, I do.
Just make sure you pull out so you don't get it on me, and then it's just floating around the capsule.
Oh no, is that a space peanut? I saw that in Joe Dirt once. What is that?
So much easier of a cleanup having sex in space. That's why there's so many UFOs, I think.
Can you imagine she came back pregnant? Would it be the first baby conceived in space?
Oh. I wonder if
that's... Elon be pissed. He'd be like, God damn it, I was going to name my kid something XY356 because of that. Son of a bitch.
Has anyone, I'm going to ask let's ask the internet, has anyone ever been conceived in space?
Aliens listening to our podcast.
Leverage. Like you'd literally have to like hook on a belt that would secure you to like the machine that you're in, the spaceship or whatever.
Keep going.
Because you'd have no leverage. You wouldn't be able to be like on a waterbed. Or worse than that even, because at least on the waterbed you still have gravity pulling you.
I think you highly underestimate how easily I can bust. I think,
bro,
honestly.
Listen, you're floating in midair. You're inserted, okay?
Right.
How are you getting any action to,
It's all mental. I don't even have to touch it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying she's going to enjoy it, but it's going to happen.
That's very Mormon of you. You
just soak it in there like the Mormons. Yep. Well, you have other people, so then the buddies, you just have somebody just like them with the bed shaking. You just have somebody that's got to shake it for you.
That's right.
According to the internet, no one has given birth in space yet. However, some scientists believe that it is possible to conceive, get pregnant, and give birth in space, and that it may happen in the future.
Dibs.
But there's things to consider with giving birth in space. The radiation from space can actually damage DNA, reproductive organs, and sperm and egg cells. Could lead to ovarian failure, cancer, miscarriages, premature births. And then, of course, the gravity that you said, the absence of gravity can make it difficult to walk around to ease labor pain. And it could be difficult for an anesthesiologist to administer an epidural. Imagine that. You can't even be in the goddamn room sometimes when they're giving an epidural, let alone one in space.
So if I'm using my brain here, and I'm thinking about how many times there have been people in space together, you have to imagine something has gone down. In fact, there was that one lady who drove. You remember that? She stalked. Oh my God. Okay. Let me try to find it. There was these 2 former astronauts. They were either fooling around.
Mm-hmm.
They were both married, I do believe. And they got back down to Earth, and here we go.
He's like, let me find it real quick. He went Control H, click. It was right in the history.
Yeah, it was under Spank Bank in my task. Yeah. Former NASA astronaut Lisa Nowak charged with attacking a romantic rival at an Orlando airport, is seen on surveillance video stalking the woman around. Okay, so it was 2 women, I guess. But anyway, this woman, they got down here, and she drove hundreds of miles, if not thousands of miles, across the United States to like stalk this lady. My point being is, you're in a closed in place with them in space where nobody else is, of course you're going to catch feelings, and or that's the only person you get to have a conversation with. Side note, there may have never been somebody conceived in space, but there's definitely been some fucking, and there's been a lot of because when they go to sleep, they sleep their sleeping bags or whatever it is, their little sleeping space. It is connected to the spaceship itself, so they can be secured when they're sleeping. So if you're secured, find a little dark corridor.
It does say that body fluids clump together and can actually float through the capsule, so they don't know if the insertion, if it would actually stay in or clump and somehow come out.
Bro, 12-year-old Brandon's already solved that. You take a towel, you jam it, you wrap it around yourself, you jam it full of lotion, and then you just use it as a...
Oh, you're talking about prison pussy. Like, you're talking about, yeah. Now, how long before, whenever, like, this whole space travel thing becomes easier, or when they put people up there as easy as Elon's talking about, I'm going to subscribe to the OnlyFans of people fucking in space, bro. I am trying to see every single one of them shots, and I want to see how it works. Like, I would subscribe. $200. Take my money.
Elon's probably going to come out and be like, all right, listen, I'll pay for the whole thing, but the first person that actually has a baby has to be named Elon.
Space XXX. Oh my God.
There it is. There's the site.
Just name the kid Orbit. You're good.
Ooh. Then the gum company's going to sue you, though.
True.
Maybe you'd get free gum for life. We named our kid Orbit.
Just so many gum references that I just like.
Apparently, some companies are working currently on developing ways to reproduce in space. So there has to be some people already hooking up in space. Spaceborne United apparently is working on developing a disc that would mix the cells in space too.
See, I want to actually see the action happen. I don't want to see DNA mixtures and shit. Nah.
So I want to go back if I could, because I knew this was an old story. This is going back like 15 years. This is dated 2011. A former NASA astronaut, Lisa Nowak, was made media waves back in 2007 when she was arrested at the Orlando airport for suspicion of attacking her perceived romantic rival. As details emerged, the story became legendary. Nowak made a 900-mile drive from her home in Houston to Orlando, stalking her victim through the airport in disguise and later attacking her with pepper spray. Nowak, and what it was she was dating this guy who was the astronaut, and this chick was actually his side piece or something like that.
Wow.
Nowak later pleaded charges to felony burglary by conveyance and for reaching into shipman's car, this person's car, for the attack, and misdemeanor battery. Most notably, this is what I wanted to get to, the accusation that Nowak drove the entire distance wearing diapers to avoid bathroom breaks was almost too much for the late night comedy circuit to handle. This was a huge, for 2 minutes, a huge story 15 years ago. That's why when you brought that up, I thought somebody was going to remember it.
Okay, I did not know that, but as soon as you said her name, I Googled it because I'm like, I wonder, smash or pass, would I do it? Initially, it was yes. I was like, yeah, I would definitely do this. And then you mentioned her wearing a diaper the entire time. Shows me how committed she is to that relationship, and it's a definite yes now. Yeah, I would change her diaper.
Oh, like how she became the bad astronaut. Oh, look at scroll. Are you on the Google? Press images, right there, and scroll down. Go up. Right. Second row, right there. What is going on there? Is that the mugshot?
Yeah. So this is her. Can you see my? No, you can't see my.
Yeah, I can see your mouse. Yep, that's her in the middle.
This is her. This is the love interest. This is the rival. She attacked her because he and her were together, and they either, I don't know if what the story was were they together? Did she just have a crush on him? Whatever it was, but yeah.
Look at that buzz cut.
Look at that title. Tainted Love, the astronaut love triangle that led to adult diapers and battery.
That just goes to show you, too, that even the smartest woman is batshit crazy.
That's... Zip.
My wife watches this show.
I don't even apologize.
Hold on. Speaking of Halloween, somebody won this one, huh?
Oh.
The most relevant one I've seen this year that I was like, all right, that's a damn good one, was the Olympic ones. Some guy dressed up like the pole vaulter, and he had like a PVC pipe right below his nether regions, and had a like obviously stuffed apparatus
You
hitting the
think it's
PVC.
stuff? Maybe he's just well endowed.
Could be.
Hmm?
Could be. Kudos to him. Can't relate.
Now, do any of like I know we're a little bit older now, sticking with the theme. Like you guys, your workplaces and stuff. You guys don't do anything for Halloween, right? Like no, bring stuff in for lunches or anything like that. Like a what are they, potlucks or something?
Unfortunately, my work does do a potluck, but I don't know if you guys saw the recent news of, I think it was in Maryland, 46 people were hospitalized due to, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Pancit. It's a Filipino dish.
Pancit doesn't sound very Filipino to me, but I'm
I
not
looked
good
it.
at it.
I looked it up on TikTok, and I'm
That's
going
what
off
I'm
of 3 videos that all said the same thing. But
Pancit.
apparently, some noodles,
That
protein,
astronaut had
veggies.
some pants shit. Am I right?
But apparently these people are very, very sick from getting this, and it's like a big story up in the Northeast. Apparently, not too big.
This is Pancit.
See, I don't know.
Looks good. I'd eat it. You wouldn't
Oh,
eat
look,
Snow peas,
Filipino.
snap peas, or something.
Let's see. It is
Looks good.
general item referring to various traditional noodle dishes in Filipino cuisine. There are numerous types of pancit, often based on the noodle's method of cooking, place of origin, or ingredients.
Have you guys brought up or talked about the golden arches that we've been talking about the last few weeks? Because we've been talking about that, and like you heard what happened this week, didn't you?
The quarter pounders.
Yeah, dude. I like it wasn't even in my state. I went to try to go get a quarter pounder because I was going to do a video on it, and they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Which is struck through on the menu. Be back soon, basically.
What was it? The E. coli?
E.coli and the quarter pounder patty. Was it the patties or was it the onions?
The onions. It came from a company in California that apparently has now been like, that's a big boo boo. They so either they took the heat, or I don't know. But apparently there was a huge outbreak, and a lot of it was in kind of our area, where a lot of people were getting sick. And the missus had just had one, and I'm like, how much is your life insurance again? She's like, I feel fine. And I'm like, oh, that's great.
CDC.gov obviously put out the thing. It says since October 22nd, which obviously the time of the recording is a little bit older, there was 26 new illnesses, bringing the total to 75. There's actually 3 new states, Michigan, New Mexico, Washington, welcome. Added to the number of states, the total is 13. 12 more people have been hospitalized, bringing it to 22. And apparently there was a death in Colorado in a child with complications of, I don't know what that is, hemolytic uremic syndrome, HUS. HUS in an adult. 42 people interviewed said that all 42 reported eating McDonald's before their illness, and mentioning a quarter pounder hamburger. No other retail chains or retailers have been identified as a source of illness. That's the thing, though, that I'm curious, though, because it says it was Taylor Farms is the supplier of the silvered onions for affected McDonald's locations. They did a recall of yellow onion. Stores were contacted directly to remove the fry. That's what I was thinking. Like, they must be selling to other places. You know what I mean? Like, is anybody else getting sick?
Right. And that's what, like, I don't know. It's kind of odd. And so they're, even though it's the onion, they're still removing the whole item from.
So my question is, what does E. coli cause from? Is it cause from somebody just like shitting, not washing their hands, and then handling onions is what it is? And like, if that's the case, how much shit are we talking about here? Because like, how much shit got on these onions? I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know.
The symptoms of E. coli are rough. Stomach cramps, diarrhea that is often bloody, and vomiting. And it usually starts 3 to 4 days after swallowing this bacteria. And most people recover without treatment 5 to 7 days. but some people may develop that kidney problem, that HUS. Ugh. Yeah, how does E. coli? E. coli are germs called bacteria. They're found in many places, including environment, foods, water, and intestines of people and animals. Most of it's harmless. Get you sick.
Oh, okay. Usually a cow. These animals have contaminated the water used for irrigation. They're growing onions too close to a cattle feedlot or something like that. That's usually what happens.
Yikes. Educational show.
Dang.
That was Los Angeles Times, by the way. I didn't.
Oh, LA Times. But not to circle back, but I just Googled the story that Yuban was talking about. 46 people got this foodborne illness after they shared that dish in a workplace in Maryland. It was Howard County Fire and Rescue. It said it responded at 3:45 p.m. To the 7700 block of Chesapeake Bay Court in Jesup, 15 miles southwest of Baltimore, because they all had the same food poisoning.
Could you imagine? All the toilets are filled. Where are they going with this bloody shit, dude?
Dude,
trash cans.
1 hour after eating it, 46 people are having to shit. 1 hour. At least they get an hour. I get 10 minutes.
No joke. Could you imagine if we had eaten it with 2 minutes?
Think of your workplaces right now. I mean, you're out because you have several bathrooms. But a more traditional workplace where myself and Brandon would work. Could you imagine if 46 employees, even if you have 46 employees, we don't have that many at the place I work. But even if 70% of the employees all had to go, we have like 3 bathrooms maybe 4. I think we have 4 bathrooms in the entire building. Imagine even if 20 people all had to go at the same time. You got employees shitting outside. You got employees running to other bathrooms and
shitting in the urinal, sitting on the sinks.
Guys, we have a multi-million-dollar Netflix special at our hands of where we can just have like 25 people eat something that looks delicious, normal stuff, right? And then 3 bathrooms, and they're all getting sick. And we'll just see how they survive and how they adapt. Will it be orderly? Will they wait in a line patiently? Or will they fight to the death to get to this bathroom?
Is their system too weak? Will they die?
As long as they sign a waiver, we'll get the guy that just blew out his ACL. He's going to be selected as one of them. He's a warrior out of Indiana. Mr. Beast probably already did this. So if he hasn't, he's listening probably. Hey, Mr. Beast, not a big fan, but congrats on all the good stuff you do, not the shitty stuff, dirtbag. But he's probably going to be doing this next, and he'd probably do it. But we should try it. And you think potentially one of your locations would let us film there for a couple days?
It's possible, but clarification to Mr. Beast and his team: these would be for 18 plus.
Yes,
individuals.
Yes, 18 plus for sure, with waivers and consent.
So, I was at Walmart place yesterday, and I only joke around like that because I know you call it something else. I saw all the Mr. Beast lunch boxes. Have you seen these? The blue ones, like the Feastables. The cool little lunch boxes open up. They, looks like a lunchbox. They were all marked down to clearance for $4, bro. Wow.
Are they like the old school style ones, the tin ones?
Yeah. No, they weren't tin. They were plastic, but yeah.
Oh, gotcha. I had a buddy. Well, I have a buddy. I don't know if he still does, but for the longest time, he got into collecting pint glasses in lunch boxes, and he'd walk into his house and he had shelving throughout all of his rooms, and he just had lunchbox and every day from eBay. It was just an interesting. Some of them were awesome. Still had the thermos in it and everything with it. Some of them were questionable, but it was an interesting thing. He was the only person in the entire world that I've ever known that collected lunch boxes.
People have amazing hobbies. There's some guys that I work with, like ride motorcycles, big old dudes, tatted and everything, and I'm like, what do you do at home and stuff, man? And he's like,
Beanie Babies.
He's like, no, those little model die-cast cars that you can paint and stuff. I'm like, yeah. He goes, I just sit on there. He goes, I'll just turn on some classical music and fuck, dude, I'll just go to town. And I'm like, you fucking with me? Are you actually doing this? I was like, classical music? He's like, yeah. And he started naming off stuff, and I'm like, I go to Spotify, and I'm like, these are legit fucking Symphony 6, whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, that's kind of my peaceful place. I'll go over there and just, he wears the glasses that are sticking out all the way over here. And so you can get fine details and stuff. He goes therapeutic as shit. I love it. And I'm like, you were in prison at one point in time too. He goes, yeah, dude, like fucking like 7 years. And I'm like, okay, some of this is making sense. Okay.
Yeah. So I was talking to my mom the other day, in the Christmas list. You know, the kids are starting to do the Christmas list, and a lot of them think they're so cool because they just put an Amazon list and send it to you, whatever, which is pretty convenient. So she's like, yeah. And my nephew wanted a couple of things and some Legos and stuff. He's like 10. So she's like, oh, yeah, that's a cool set. So she clicks it. $400 for the one set he wanted. She's like, nope. Clicks the other one. $300 and something dollars. I'm like, she's like, I can't believe Legos are. And it was like one of these, I don't know exactly what it was, but say it was, you know, Harry Potter or something. Maybe like a whole, what's in Harry Potter? Castles or dragons, or I've never seen Harry Potter. That's a bad example. But say the Millennium Falcon or something like that. But you get something like that they are crazy priced. And if you, like, I think we talked about it, I don't know if it was on this show or one of the other ones, where if you're able to kind of buy them before they become like the resale or something like that, they're actually one of the better things that you can invest in with a crazy percentage of resale.
I have a buddy now who is hoarding those. He has several of and it's like the Harry Potter, Star Wars. There's some like Pokemon ones and stuff like that. That you want to get the end of life ones that are getting ready to no longer be produced. And apparently, if you can find those in Targets, Walmarts, you know, wherever, those are the ones to get. And you can sit on them for a year or so and make 4 times the amount of what you purchased it for.
Yeah. Some of them you're buying for $100, $200, and they're selling for like $1,200. I mean, you can make $1,000 just off one. That's a good deal. I'm not going to do that because I would buy all of the wrong ones and then just be like, here you go, kids, put these together so you can lose all the pieces, and I'll step on them in the middle of the night. These sons of bitches. Man, I'm dreading having to purchase things for Christmas already. Is that sad? I know it's Halloween and everything, but I know as soon as that Christmas candy and Christmas tree cakes and those donuts, which I sent a picture to you boys, I still haven't tried yet because I just forgot until right now. Yeah, they've lasted.
I would have already had those gone before the morning for sure. Honestly, when I saw the picture of the donuts, I thought it was Brandon sending it at first, and I was like, "Oh shit, he got them!" And I was like, "I'm gonna need to go get the zebra cake ones," because I completely forgot about it until you guys sent the picture. But yeah, those would not have lasted. I mean, easily 30 minutes. Get me a glass of milk. I'll even dunk it in there. Have myself a good old time.
Well, we walked into a DG because I needed some new dry erase markers for coaching basketball on the wipe-off board. Apparently, I'm writing way too much, and the markers were not good. And I found just a random red one. I thought all dry erase markers were the same, but apparently they make specific ones just for dry erase boards compared to the classroom. So the only one I had was red, so I drew it, and it looked just like blood. And the girls were like, "Are you bleeding, coach?" And I'm like, what? No. And I just had red all over my hands, wiping the board, so it didn't work. So we walked in there. There was 2 of those donuts left in the store. So I was like, it's kind of a sign. I got to get one. And then I don't know what it is. I think I'm the only person in potentially the entire planet that enjoys it. I love candy corn. So I went to go buy some candy corn. Usually I get the box. Big fan. That's how you say it, right? Box, like the classical musician probably. Well, they had the sale on Zachary's. And I was like, oh, shit. I know some Zachary's. I'm going to try it. I'm telling you, it tastes like the smell of dish detergent. They are, they're not, but it was a mixed one. I had the pumpkins, I had the chocolate, had them all in there. They were like $2. I'm like, perfect, let's try it. Trash. Am I still going to eat them? Probably.
So now I feel bad because I also do enjoy some candy corn. Not my favorite, but if I see it out there, I'm like, okay. I like the ones with the chocolate ones too. And you mentioned the pumpkin ones, and I got the same package before. Same package, but
ours are different. You sent me yours.
Update. I've shaven. It looks bigger now. So I was sitting there eating them, and like the kids were like, "You like those?" I'm like, "They're not bad." And even the miss is like, "Those are fucking trash." She's like, "Those taste like wax." She's like, "It looks like those are candles." And I'm like, "Are they? Did you make them? What the fuck?" No. And she's like, "No, but she's like, how do you like those?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's not that bad." So while you're going through the story, I'm like, "Yeah, somebody else who likes these fucking candy corn," and then you're like trash. And I'm like, Apparently my palate is fucking garbage, but you know what? Still not going to eat that Pancit stuff.
No,
I
I'm
would never
saying
fall
the
for it.
Zachary's brand is trash. Specifically,
Oh,
that's I still love the candy corn because every once in a while, after Halloween and stuff's over, I'll get a random one on my desk, and of all things, producer Zach, he will just see them for like a quarter or 50 cents, and he'll buy a bag and just throw it on my work desk. And then, so I sent it to him last night, assuming he was highly elevated. I had a lot of fixed vodka, way more than I wanted to drink. Did wake up feeling fine, gotta love it. And he sent me, he's like, that's the worst thing I've ever invented. And it didn't really click. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, the candy corn. And I was like, yeah, what about it? I mean, candy corn. And it was like this five. And then finally he like had to break it down. Oh, because I didn't really look at the brand name. I was like, got it now. And he's like, Jesus. I'm like, oh, I sat by a fire yesterday. It was like the perfect bonfire day up here. It was like 40s. Just sat on the back porch, had some beverages, sat by the bonfire, ate some candy corn, just being a real adult,
hell yeah.
Had some
Brandon,
football
do you eat-
going. There wasn't really, like, in my opinion, a great college football game. There wasn't one that, that I was excited for a couple, just to watch a couple of them. Was hoping Texas was going to lose 2 in a row. They didn't, but
There were a couple of games that like Kansas State, but nobody was watching that.
yeah.
2 and
I did
6
watch Nebraska just for you, Brandon, and had a little bit of a heartbreak, but
you saw Kansas was 2 and 6. Kansas State 6 and 1. Kansas was winning most of the game, and Kansas State came back to score 6 points in the fourth quarter to win. There were a couple of games like that, but to your point, there were no upsets in the top 25, which is always fun to watch.
mm-hmm.
It was basically what Vegas expected to happen happened.
Yeah, that's not a good money making day for a lot of people either.
College, I mean, and you're more familiar with this than I am when it comes to the college and the pro side. I'm telling you, man, college is much more of a crapshoot. It's tougher to, in some ways, because in on the money line, I could probably always guess, okay, look, Ohio State's probably going to beat Nebraska. Now, they weren't going to cover 25 points. I think I even felt that in the whole time. I probably should have told you guys that. I didn't. I can't legally bet here.
I took it.
But when it comes to NFL, it's tough because, like, the Broncos can beat the Chiefs. Like, it can happen, right? Mm-hmm. They're not better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a better team, better coach, better everything. But on a wild Sunday, the Jaguars can take on and beat the fucking Eagles. I don't know who the good teams are this year. The Ravens or whoever. So it's tougher to do those NFL games. And those NFL games are usually 21-17, 24-21, right in that wheelhouse. So those over-unders, so tough to like. I would pull my fucking beard out trying to.
Oh, don't do that.
That's why I stay with college.
So if you had to guess, take one team in the NFL, who do you think so far this season, at the time of the recording, is the best team in football, like their win-loss record against the spread?
Against the spread. Okay, that's the most important part.
Against the spread. Because obviously we know, KC's undefeated, Carolina, they stink, but it doesn't always translate to winning, against the spread in Vegas.
The Seahawks, I don't know.
I'm going to go with, there's one team that's been really close at least for the first 4 or 5 weeks, the Colts.
It's the Colts. 6-1 against the spread, 85.7%. Their against the spread percentage is plus 0.14. And Washington, KC, and Detroit are both 5-1. And Dub Bears 4-1-1.
See, Lions, if you would ask me what is the best team currently, I love the Lions, even though they beat the shit out of my team. Mm-hmm. They look like a really solid football team this year.
Who's your team?
The Cowboys. Unfortunately, they're just fucking trash.
Should have been a Cowboy.
It's making fun of the Cowboys, the Jets. It's like making fun of the Huskers. Like I feel your pain more so with the Jets than the Cowboys. Cowboys and Nebraska is very similar in that we haven't been good since the 90s, and it's always going to be the year. And no matter who we bring in or what we bring in and how the team looks. I just spilled on myself. I'm so sorry. This has never happened before, but yet it has every time.
And it seems like it's getting worse for Cowboys fans just because Jerry Jones keeps saying the most outlandish shit to the media and to his own media as well. And I'm like, You never wish ill on somebody, but I'm definitely putting him on my celebrity death pool next year, just a hoping it happens.
Yeah, I saw something last night, and then that obviously the Yankees 27 World Series. A lot of Yankee fans around here, so even when they lose, well, we have 20. But then you start to look, and I think the Cards were second with 11, and it's like, you know what? There's probably never going to be another team that's going to win 28 World Series. Definitely not in our lifetime, but potentially ever. Because, I mean, the way that they spend money and get players and stuff, they're eventually going to win some more. I don't think anybody's ever going to – that could be one of those records that'll just never be broken. Franchise records, you know?
And honestly, you mentioned the Cardinals. They are the version of the Yankees over here. I cannot stand Cardinal fans just because they're like, oh, well, we've been to this many. I'm like, what about recently, brother? Like, how long ago? It's like the Royals has even been, to the World Series more recently than you have. You know, we've both been twice since '85. Calm the fuck down.
Being a Pirates fan, I can relate. I also hate the Cardinals.
Bro, from 1923 to 1962, I think that's about, 30-something years? They won 20 fucking titles.
Yeah.
See, and that's why it's like Cowboys fans when they're holding on to no, we were really good in the 90s. Like theirs is like, yeah, we were really good in the 20s, the 19 fucking 20s.
Yep. When there was 8 teams?
Yeah, and there wasn't a black person on the entire fucking thing. Like, it just...
In Montreal, hockey fans are the same kind of way, we have all these titles. Grant, cool, there was 6 of you.
Yeah.
You won a lot. You were really good. I get it. But they should have different categories or something. Be like, all right, pass ball, modern ball.
It's and to be honest with you, dude, we all know the talent back then in baseball, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s. Because there were so little teams, it was so stacked at the top. Like, you could have a great player like the Washington Senators with Walter Johnson, but never be able to compete when it comes to the playoffs and actually winning championships with the Yankees or other teams like that. I'm looking at this here, between 36 and 56, 20 years, they won 13 World Series. 13 in 20 years. That's unfucking believable. That's like Boston Celtics, UCLA good, and Yankees good. I mean, I hate the Yankees because most of their oh, we're great happened grandpa's fucking childhood. 96, 98, 99, 2000, 2009. That's the only titles they've won in the last 25 years, which is a lot at 5. It's good, but it ain't fucking 13 and 20 years. They're not what they were, but they're still spending money, and they should be winning. People should be thinking of the Yankees like the Cowboys because they never fucking win.
Mm-hmm.
But because they won in 2009, where, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then you have, nonstop, the MVP is Judge. The MVP is Judge. That dude has not done shit.
Not even hitting 200.
Postseason. Yeah. 0, I think they said 0 and 10 with runners in scoring position.
Love it.
That's wild.
To quote the great Tony, right? You hate to see it.
On that note, they probably hate to see us say goodbye, but looking at the clock, it's time to get out of here. So hopefully Yuban, Brandon, you guys have a good rest of your day. Anybody listening, for whatever reason, enjoy the rest of your Halloween, unless you're, listening to it, right around Thanksgiving. That doesn't make as much sense. But either way, we can't thank you enough. Check out the friends of the show and all the descriptions and all of the places. Or don't. That's cool. And that's all I got. Be good to your wieners. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye.
Buckle up tight. It's gonna be a wild ride. We're diving deep into your fridge where secrets hide. Mysteries of leftovers, the wonders inside. From moldy sandwiches to ancient yogurt jars. We